Okay, we are back with another video about another AI-powered tool that I developed in my spare time. This one, again, is another WordPress plugin. As you can see from the web page here, it is the rather adventurously titled LLM Image Alt Tag Suggester. No guesses really there as to what this one does then. This was a logical progression, really, from the LLM auto redirect generator plugin that I demoed in my previous video, and was actually off the back of a post I saw someone post on LinkedIn where they were talking about website visitors and whether they get the context when they hover over your images, and how the title attribute in WordPress may be an answer, and talking about how it's an often overlooked feature and can significantly enhance your user's experience and accessibility. Implementing the title attribute and alt text is straightforward and can provide tooltips that can explain what users can expect when they interact with different elements. Now, after reading this post, it got me thinking, the same technique I used for the redirect could be used to generate image, alt, and title tags. So, I decided I would have a go, and eventually, when I found some spare time, I developed this plugin. Now, this will probably be a very short video because it is, in essence, very similar to the previous one that I shared and demoed here, the auto redirect plugin. You can see the settings page here in the plugin looks remarkably similar, with one minor difference. And that is that we have the inclusion of vision models. So, again, we're using my local alarmer. Again, I've shared it via Cloudflare to a Cloudflare URL temporarily for this website to make use of my local AI running on my laptop here for this particular task. Now, we still have Qwen 2.5 as the large language model for text processing, but now we have our Qwen 2.5 VL, which is the vision model. This LLM model is capable of being given an image and it can describe the contents of it. So I would guess you can probably see where I'm going with this, and what I thought the intended use of this would be. So we have some slight changes again here. Enable vision support. You can attempt to just use the LLM, the text LLM, by itself with this plugin. It won't be particularly effective. It tries to look at the page and get a context of what the page is talking about, and therefore it then looks at the image name and tries to decide how that relates to it and come up with a reasonable best guess as to what might be appropriate for the alt text and title tag. Obviously, this isn't always that accurate. The vision model is much better. It actually looks at the image and gives you a description of the image. So we have a number of functions here in the plugin. Scan for images. Now, obviously, we don't have a redirection plugin here, like we did with the previous large language auto redirect, to supply us with a list of things to sort of edit and update. So we actually have to go through pages and posts and find images that don't have alt or title tag text for us to process them. So hence we have the ability to scan for them. We have the option to clean up broken images because sometimes we get a list of broken images and we don't want them. And then we have bulk suggest. I sort of feel now, in hindsight, after developing this particular plugin, that I will probably remove bulk suggest, to be honest with you. Because I have found when using the LLM alt tag generator that you usually want to review the text that it has created for an image just to make sure it's correct and doesn't say something completely wrong. More so than with, say, the redirection, where it was normally accurate in deciding which page should be redirected to. Essentially, this is a time-saving tool more, where you can edit the suggestion and save it without having to go into each post and page and find every image and so on, which is, time-consuming, shall we say, at the least. And again, the bulk suggest if you were using a paid-for service would burn through your tokens and rack up costs at an incredible speed. So it feels really unnecessary. You can use it. It will run sequentially as per the previous plugin, the auto redirection plugin, to generate alt text for everything. I guess there may be a situation where you want to do that, to be honest. If you have a site that you desperately have to get alt text on every image for in order to meet some compliance or whatever, then, bulk processing would get you there, but it may not be that accurate. You would have to come back later and edit it. So maybe I'll leave it there just for the outlying cases. Anyway, so this works in much the same fashion as the previous plugin with our suggest. That then talks to our large language model, talks to the vision model, and in a minute should come back with some suggested text for this charity spotlight image here. There you go. A woman and two children smiling, with the woman wearing a t-shirt with the text, "Do hard things" on. And it says, "A family portrait with inspirational text" as the title. Now, when we look at the image, we can see that's largely accurate. There is a woman there with two children smiling. She is wearing a t-shirt saying "Do hard things." I would alter this text as I did when I read it, because she's not wearing a text, she's wearing a t-shirt. This is easily done. You just grab that there. And edit it. There we go. I would say that, in fact, as the title, Charity Spotlight, and a date would be more fitting again. So now we're happy. We have the image with a description that would probably make accessibility happy. It describes what's going on in the image, and we have a title relevant to the content. So if we're happy, we hit apply. Job done. On to the next one. A group of people in orange shirts engaged in a community outreach event, with a banner in the background promoting Stop the Pain, community outreach event in Nigeria. I don't know if that title is actually accurate or not, truth be told, without reading the article. You can click through to go and then read these articles as well, but I will just take again that and pop that in there. Again, the alt text is pretty relevant. The image would satisfy the accessibility requirements for, speaking browsers and so on. So we can just hit apply, and that's done. Now, that essentially is this plugin, and all it does. But again, a massive time saver if you manage a website where you have a lot of content and a lot of images, and you want that alt text to be on there to meet these requirements. It took a little bit of development to actually get this one to work exactly how I wanted. In its first incarnation, it wiped out all the text in the postal page, which was less than desirable, really. So it's had a few bug fixes as well, in order to ensure that it correctly performs as expected. Again, This plugin is available on GitHub for you to download, and I'll leave a link in the description below this video. Anyway, have fun. Goodbye.